This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Wednesday, December 10th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. An American political commentator says surgeons in the U.S. are ready to help a Saskatchewan woman who can't seem to access the surgery she needs in Canada. And while critics say she's being used as a political pawn, the woman says she'll take help from wherever she can get it. Jeffrey Tram has our top story.
A Saskatchewan woman fighting a rare disease might finally get the surgery she needs, but not in Canada, and only with the help of an American political commentator trying to make a point.
Glenn Beck is a conservative talk radio show host. He jumped on the story of Jolene Van Alstyne. She's a Regina woman with a rare form of parathyroid disease.
I'm isolated. I've been alone, laying on the couch for 8 years. Sick and curled up in a ball, wishing for the day to end. I go to bed at 6 o'clock at night because I can't stand to be awake anymore.
In late November, she told reporters she applied for medically assisted death. CBC has confirmed she's been approved by one doctor, but needs one more to sign off. On X, Beck posted his critique of Canada's publicly funded healthcare system. This is the reality of compassionate, progressive healthcare. Canada must end this insanity, and Americans can never let it spread here. In follow-up posts, Beck said surgeons had contacted his team for help, and they're working to bring Van Alstyne to the States.
This is just all wraps up into the sort of perfect Glenn Beck indictment of what it means to have a single-payer, publicly funded healthcare system.
This expert says Beck is using the opportunity to score political points.
Whatever kind of foolish opportunism that Glenn Beck is demonstrating for his own purposes, we, I think, should try not to be distracted by that and think about, there's still an issue here. There's still a citizen of ours in real need.
When you're in a situation and you care about somebody, you're going to do whatever it takes to get her help. And if it has to enter the political spectrum, then so be it.
Van Alstyne has met with the Saskatchewan health minister. His team helped get her referrals to clinics across the country, but still no response at this time. And now she's back in hospital. 2 surgeons from the United States have reached out, but nothing has been finalized. Jeffrey Tram, CBC News, Regina.
The provincial auditor says the province isn't doing enough inspections of special care homes. Tara Clement found the health ministry has not inspected nearly 20% of homes since inspections began 4 years ago. She also says surprise inspections aren't working because the ministry gives care home operators advance notice of their visits. Her office found instances where care plans had suddenly been updated ahead of those visits.
Doing unannounced inspections would be probably a better process to get a better sense and a true representation of what is the care that special care home is providing when the ministry goes on site.
In a statement to CBC, the Health Ministry says it plans to change policies based on the auditor's recommendations and will increase unannounced and follow-up inspections, as well as publicly report results and develop a risk-based inspection model. And the auditor has also flagged a concerning statistic around medication use in long-term care. Alexander Kwan has that story.
35%. That's how many of the province's long-term care residents were being prescribed antipsychotic drugs in 2023-24. It's a concerning stat flagged by provincial auditor Tara Clement, who says long-term care homes are
essentially chemically restraining them. This is well above the national rate of 25%.
It also means Saskatchewan has the second highest rate of any province. The NDP says it's a sign of the government underfunding healthcare.
It's equally disturbing to see that we're turning to basically antipsychotics and putting these people in almost a catatonic state instead of actually just caring for them and giving them what they need.
But one professor of community health says there can be multiple reasons a person without psychosis is given antipsychotics.
It is something that is not recommended to do often, but in a situation where a person may put himself and others at risk, that is something that does happen and may be entirely reasonable.
As for why it's happening, Thorpe says the 35% figure doesn't include each patient's diagnosis and the rationale for the use of the antipsychotic, so it's hard to say. But Clement has one suggestion for the government to fix the issue.
Visiting those homes where that is the case, and then deciding if that is really a non-compliance issue and it should be addressed, and we would hopefully then see that number obviously go down.
The Ministry of Health defends the policy in a statement, saying long-term care homes are required to obtain a written order from a qualified health practitioner to use antipsychotics, and that they must discuss and obtain written consent from the resident and their family before administering medications. Alexander Kwan, CBC News, Regina.
About 1 in every 9 students in this province who needs extra support in the classroom were excluded from school at some point last year. That's according to a new report by Inclusion Saskatchewan. And parents say it's having an impact on their kids. Aaliyah Marco Omene reports.
This mother says her son can only go to school for half the day. That's because he lost his educational assistant due to budget cuts. And she says it's not just her son who's affected.
One child excluded is too many, but 1,300, that's not a rare exception, that's a crisis.
Ferguson is referring to a new report from Inclusion Saskatchewan. It found around 1,300 students were excluded from school last year in 18 of Saskatchewan's 27 school divisions. Inclusion Saskatchewan's CEO says the data reveals a much larger systemic issue.
It is a continued problem, first of all, because of the discrimination against people with intellectual disabilities whose abilities and values offered to the community are not always seen or understood.
The opposition NDP is asking the province to put an emergency plan in place to ensure every student has access to adequate supports in the classroom.
The Sask Party has failed these children in a horrific way. Their decades of cuts have piled up on classrooms, and it's innocent students that are suffering.
The Ministry of Education says it's committed to working with school divisions to provide opportunities for students to succeed. It says all divisions will receive $2.4 billion in funding next year, but each division is responsible for deciding where that money goes. Ferguson says the needs of the students reflected in the report should be the priority.
Because at the end of the day, these aren't numbers, they're children. Children who want to learn, children who deserve to belong, and children who deserve to have their best chance at a promising future.
Aaliyah Marco Omene, CBC News, Regina.
Transit workers in Regina are a step closer to going on strike. It comes after recent negotiations with the City of Regina. The city's proposed budget includes cutting public transit funding. That would mean buses would stop running at 10:30 p.m. instead of at midnight. Earlier this week, the Amalgamated Transit Union Local in Regina voted 83% in favor of a strike mandate in the hopes of preventing that cut. The local's president says service cuts will affect minimum wage workers and students the most.
For the last 3-4 days, we were going out in the downtown area in the night time at 10:30 p.m. People waiting for the bus. We told them, do you know that if this budget cuts get approved by the councils there, then there will be no service after 10:30. Most of them didn't know that. So if there will be no bus service, how will they go back to their home after their jobs?
In a statement, the city says it has confidence in the bargaining process and looks forward to reaching a fair collective agreement. The two sides will be back at the bargaining table soon. And if you have an upcoming flight booked with Air Transat, you can breathe a sigh of relief. A strike at the airline has been averted. A tentative contract deal was reached between the Canadian airline and its pilots union just hours before a walkout was set to begin Wednesday morning. Air Transat had canceled more than a dozen flights over the previous 2 days in anticipation of a strike. It's also been ferrying some vacationers home early so they wouldn't be stranded. No details of the new contract agreement with the pilots union have been announced yet. Well, lots of big, heavy winter jackets being worn across the province. That storm system has now come and gone, but the weather is much colder in its wake, and it is only going to get colder from here. We could be talking about -30 in some parts of south and central Saskatchewan. Weather specialist Mickey Wolf has the details in her forecast after the break. Well, Santa's sleigh hasn't quite left the North Pole yet, but he did recently fly into one of Saskatchewan's northernmost communities. It's a partnership involving airline Rise Air and the settlement of Uranium City. And our Aisha Ashraf tagged along for the ride.
Oh, oh, oh! Merry Christmas.
It's not a sleigh, but today I'm flying up to the most northern part of Saskatchewan with Santa.
They've been looking forward to it all week, and they are very happy that the weather was good to Uranium City and has brought Santa.
And what do you think an event like this means for the kids here?
A free school day. A lot of excitement. They're happy, they're looking forward to it. It brings the community together, which is always great.
I think it's really nice that they thought of us because, I mean, we're pretty isolated, so not many people do.
Once a bustling mining settlement, Uranium City now just has 80 residents. During the winter, the only way in or out is by ice road or an expensive plane flight, and that can make Christmas more challenging.
We plan ahead, like through the winter roads. We prepare for the upcoming year. You got to be three months ahead of every holiday up here. The kids enjoy it so much. This is not an everyday thing for them, so they're pretty excited. We're excited, and we're very grateful for Rise Air putting this through for us.
This is the 25th year of Santa in the North. They were excited. They were singing Christmas carols. They were ready for a great interaction, which I think from my observations everyone had. But yeah, it's just obviously very happy and joyful. And it's such a great time of year to be in community and meeting the kids and interacting in this way.
I'm thankful for it, and the kids and everybody, we're all happy.
I got a Lego piece. It's by Mario Kart.
So what's your favorite part of today?
Meeting Santa Claus. I was trying to act really good today to meet Santa Claus.
You were on your good behavior?
Yeah.
Do you think you were on the nice list this year?
Sort of. I like getting new presents.
I felt privileged to be here and share the joy with them, and we're excited.
And how was the ride over here without your reindeers?
It was good. It was good. A bit cold, but yeah, we keep moving. So yeah.
I made airplanes. Oh, and I made you this. It's a note.
Oh, thank you.
That's a wrap in Uranium City, Santa's final northern stop. From here, he's heading back to get ready for deliveries around the world. Aisha Ashraf, CBC News, Uranium City.
And weather specialist Mickey Wolf joining us now. Looks like Santa's definitely got the snow and the cold weather in Saskatchewan for his arrival, Mickey.
Oh, most definitely, Ethan. Santa has the snow covered, and it's going to be snowing for the next couple of days across Saskatchewan. But first, let's take a look at a sunnier day. We had a photo sent to us by Youngjun Kim. This was over last weekend, a beautiful sundog. She was actually here visiting for her son's hockey game, which is really nice to think of us in Saskatoon here. But looking at our skies now, not so clear. We've got snow pretty much covering most of the province tonight. We're seeing snow south, central, and in the north as we get into the evening hours. hours. Taking a look at those daytime highs, things were definitely feeling cooler today, but our temperatures kind of in that -10 range around the south. Definitely a warmer day for Maple Creek. We're seeing those temperatures over zero. They were sitting at +6 degrees in Maple Creek, and a little cooler for the central region. Now let's take a look at these next few days, because we've got some different looking skies. So we're seeing that snow overnight tonight, and then again a second wave tomorrow morning. That's going to be snowing across most of the province tomorrow, and then as we get into Friday, things are going to cool down, but most importantly, we're going to see some clear skies. That southwest corner is going to get a little bit more snow though Friday morning. Looking at the amounts of snowfall, we're going to see kind of the bulk of that overnight Thursday, and then again that Friday in that southwest corner, they're going to have some pretty heavy snowfall amounts, up to 18 centimeters for the southwest corner of Saskatchewan, and then everywhere else we're kind of in that 4 to 10 centimeter range as far as snowfall accumulation. And then in the north, again, a little bit more gradual here. We're going to see just up to 8 centimeters of snowfall. But taking a look at our temperatures, we're seeing that -30 as we get into the week. So things are really going to cool down across the province as we get into Friday and Saturday. Then things are starting to warm up again as we move into Monday. So looking at Regina, we're seeing a pretty big difference between Friday and Saturday's temperatures. And then looking at Tuesday, we've got 0 degrees. So things are quite chilly and frigid this weekend, a little bit of snow Thursday, and then potentially as we head into midweek next week, we'll see a little bit more snow for Regina. And then in Saskatoon tomorrow, we'll see 2 to 4 centimeters for Saskatoon, those overnight temperatures dropping down to near -30. A chilly Friday and Saturday before things warm up a little bit Monday and Tuesday. So Ethan, things are feeling cold for Santa. I hope that Santa bundles up by the time we get to December 25th.
Yeah, we'll hope him and his reindeer are ready to go. Thank you, Mickey.
Thank you.
A new treatment is coming for some new moms who are suffering from postpartum depression. Christine Birak reports, and a warning that this story talks about suicide.
It's the first medication ever approved in Canada specifically to treat postpartum depression.
We're excited about it because it sheds light on this topic, it raises awareness, hopefully it reduces some self-blame that people might have around, like, why did I develop this?
Postpartum depression affects about 1 in 5 women after childbirth. Most experience mild symptoms, including sadness, anxiety, and trouble bonding with their baby, and are treated with therapy. The drug zuranolone is intended for those with more severe symptoms, like Cara Fiscus.
I started tonight. Wish me luck.
Fiscus says in her mind, she couldn't be helped. She thought she was poisoning her son by being around him.
I was obsessively thinking about how I could get away with killing myself in the bathroom.
Doctors say postpartum depression happens when hormonal changes during pregnancy throw off a brain chemical that helps keep you calm and balanced. Zuranolone helps restore that balance. The drug was approved in the U.S. over a year ago. Fiscus says it saved her life.
By day 3, I remember saying to my husband, it's been at least 20 minutes since I thought about killing myself. And that was a very, very big deal.
In a trial, participants were given either the drug or a placebo for just 14 days. Both groups saw their symptoms reduced, and by day 15, about 27% of participants taking the drug reported no depressive symptoms at all. Some improvement was also seen as early as day 3 and lasted up to 45 days. The drug was generally well tolerated, but can decrease awareness and alertness.
What needs to happen next is try to understand exactly how these neurosteroids are so rapidly, restoring brain function to manage stress in the brain.
Zuranolone helped ease symptoms for 57% of women in clinical trials. But in the U.S., it comes with a hefty price tag at nearly $16,000. The drug is expected to hit the Canadian market early next year, though the cost is still unknown. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
UNESCO has officially recognized Italian cuisine as part of humanity's intangible cultural heritage. Specifically, it's recognizing the intangible ingredients of Italian cuisine and things like know-how and tradition and the way Italians sit around a table and talk about food. Some food for thought for your next meal. Stay with us. We're back after the break. Welcome back. Saskatchewan Roughriders O-lineman Jamarcus Hardrick has re-signed with the Saskatchewan Roughriders for another season. The veteran rider was named the CFL's most outstanding O-lineman this year, and of course, you'll remember this, he picked up his third Grey Cup championship with the Green and White just a couple weeks back. Hardrick played for nearly 1,000 offensive snaps during the 2025 regular season. Now he's looking forward to another exciting season with his crew.
Just hardworking people, honest, hardworking people. The guys showed up every day, no matter the score, no matter anything. We showed up every day. We had each other back. We had hard conversations. We had easy conversations. We talked about life. We talked about ball. Sometimes it didn't even feel like work. Sometimes it felt like when I was in the meeting room, I was at the cafeteria when I'm in high school with all my best friends.
The 35-year-old says he didn't even talk to his agent prior to re-signing, and he wants a chance to add a fourth Grey Cup ring to his collection. Mickey's back now. Lots of green and white confetti like snow on the ground there in Winnipeg, Mickey, and lots of snow still on the ground for us here.
Very nice, Ethan, very nice. Not so much green in the central region tonight, but definitely in the south, we're still seeing a little bit of grass. Covered by snow, though, in a lot of places. Let's take a look, though, at tonight and what we're going to be in store for over the next 24 hours across the province. Things are definitely cooling down in the evenings here. Still pretty mild in that southwest corner, but then as we move towards the central region, things are looking around -20. We're seeing that snow falling overnight across south and central. At least parts of south and central. And then across the north tonight as well, we do have some snowfall as we get into the day tomorrow. We're seeing cloud cover and a little bit of snow in that Churchill region by the time we get into the afternoon. And then tomorrow for the south and central regions, we will be seeing snow and possibly a little bit of freezing rain way down in that southwest corner. As we get into the afternoon, we're going to be seeing some winds gusting here and then some snowfall. So that's definitely going to be reducing some visibility for folks on the roads. So Ethan, we might not be seeing much green on the ground any longer over the next coming week or two here in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, looks like it. Okay, Mickey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that is our news for this Wednesday. For more news anytime, you can always head to cbc.ca/Sask or subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel. And of course, you can also download the CBC News app on your smartphone or tablet. Thanks so much for watching.